Okay, now let's make sure that was the correct channel here. There we go. Okay, I'll wait for a few people to come on here before make sure it's working. Can you guys confirm audio? Yes, let's try it again. I clicked on the wrong broadcast there for the Pacific Northwest. Good evening, everybody. Hope the audio is okay. It looks like it's working on my end. There's a couple ways to make that fail though, so I'm trying to see if... Okay, you guys can hear me. That's good. Okay, let me keep setting this up here. Yeah, I was on the wrong channel. I was on the Pacific Northwest channel. That'll be it for another day. Big storm affecting California right now. Point Conception. Yeah, you guys are about to get hammered there in a little bit. Another hour or so. Look at Morro Bay. These are what are known as narrow cold frontal rain bands. They're just torrential rainfall, and the rain surrounding them is pretty darn right heavy as well. So you're getting some pretty heavy rain, then all of a sudden it gets really heavy. They're just kind of just north of Morro Bay. That one made landfall there, and these can have water spouts and embedded tornadoes in this activity as well as also with some lightning strikes. And these are what bring some of the biggest flooding to California, especially Southern California. If you get one of these narrow cold frontal rain bands that kind of trains over any given area, that's what can cause the real nasty flooding. Yeah, and I'll show you the actual. Here's the satellite imagery on the GOES 18 right now. So actually, is this up to date? It doesn't look like it's, there we go. That's up to date. So yeah, you can see what's going on right now. And you can see where the narrow cold frontal rain band, those little segments where those are setting up there. So Point Conception, Santa Barbara is next. You can see some of the wave action coming off the transverse range here. And yeah, as we go through tonight and early tomorrow morning, Southern California is going to be getting hammered as well. Probably going to wake some people up with some of the heavy rainfall rolling in. And here's the wider view with the infrared. You can kind of see the narrow cold frontal rain band in here as well. Those little segments, that's what the really heavy rainfall. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's not showing much lightning right now, but that doesn't mean that there isn't some occurring in there also. Looks like there might have been a strike there also. Chris Naughty, thank you very much. Okay, now it's letting me like that stuff. I like this new YouTube setup, whatever they did. They did a little change there. So I can click like. Thanks for the generosity, Chris. San Diego in the house. Highway 14 and 58, Edwards Air Force Base. Eyes on the sky. Yes, indeed. Powerful storm for late March. I mean, it's not unheard of. You can still get strong systems. And it looks like we might get some more activity here as we go as well. And that's something I haven't looked at yet. Let's check this out together. So I want to look at the 12Z actually. I want to look at the European a little bit further out. So that's the storm we're dealing with right now. And that'll be moving through on the day Monday. Build a ridge. Let's see what it shows here. I have not looked at this yet today. So another trough dropping down, almost like an inside slider here. So it depends on how far that sets up out over the coastline. But then there's another one. Is that one going to come down as well? Some troughing along the west coast, but we'll see. I mean, there's still plenty of time to look at this. I mean, you're looking at 140 hours plus out there. Yeah, more rain coming for Ventura County. Wallace, California, also raining. And you can see this. If I click on this special marine here, possible water spouts, local wind gusts to 50 knots, small hail, possible lightning. And of course, if you're underneath one of these, you can get that urban and small stream flooding and some localized flooding as well. Places like Arroyo Grande, Santa Maria, Vandenberg is you guys are next. You can see all this stuff out here, and this tap goes all the way back. In fact, let me do this because the Doppler radar, you can kind of see this. Is this? Let me stop this here for a second. Let me pause this. That segment right there looks kind of interesting. This, you can get tornadic activity with these segments here. And so I like to look at that. You can kind of see the green and the lighter green here. You can see the rotation right there. This is the Doppler radar right there, that black dot. And the red means the wind is moving away from it. The green is moving towards it. So you can kind of see the wind shift in this line out here, right along that narrow cold frontal band. And point conception is, click off that. Point conception is right there. So yeah, this is going to eventually move all the way into Santa Barbara and Ventura County here. Santa Barbara County is here. There's Ventura County, Los Angeles County. So yeah, it can be some active weather tonight for millions of everybody out down there across Southern California. Hello from Palm Springs. Make it stop. Yeah. You'll be wishing for these days, though, when you get into the summertime and you get some of those long stretches of hot weather. Yeah, that one looks like it's rotating here, too, as well. This little segment right there. That little ball of fun right here. See, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some water spout activity out there over the ocean. Let's see what the GFS said. The 18Z. 18Z, yeah, the GFS is definitely, that would be a stronger storm versus, and this is all the way in towards the end of next week. So we might not even be done with these storm systems, if you can believe that. Keep it going all the way into April. And then you can see the troughing all the way out here on into, well on into April there. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Lots can change at this point. The late rain, indeed. Let's see, 256 people watching. Very nice. MKD. Trying to catch up a little bit on the chat here. Narrow focused rain deluge. Yeah, if it freaks you out when you drive through one of those narrow cold frontal rain bands, it's always best to just stop where you are, type of thing. Let's see what they updated the 6 to 10 day. Did they? No, I don't see any changes. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Oh, look at that. Look at this 6 to 10 day. Wow. Yeah, so they're biting on that troughing here along much of the West Coast. Look at that below average signal. My goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades of blue. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 70 to 80% chance of below normal temperatures. Accompanied by some above average precip. 8 to 14 day. Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep this going. I mean, why not, right? The only downside to this, and there's always a downside to California weather, because when you have rainy seasons like this, like we had last year and this year, what you're doing is you're growing a lot of vegetation, sometimes in the lower elevations as well. A lot of grasses, a lot of brush, everything just becomes alive and, vibrant again. But when you dry out again, that's just more fuel for the next round of fires. So there's always, I guess it's just how you want to look at things, but it's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind that, there's going to be give and take to this. The fires are going to return at some point, and, the drought will return at some point as well. Drought's just a normal cycle of the climate. So that's something that we all have to deal with when time comes, but it is nice in the meantime. Maybe help, replenish some of that groundwater out there also. Sydney, Australia in the house. Yeah, you guys are cold in the Bay Area there. I mean, look at this upper level low. That's a lot of cold air spinning around. So there's going to be thunderstorm activity tomorrow. Eyes on the sky tomorrow also. The hills even so-called look like Ireland. Yeah, nice and green. I mean, it's going to be quite the spring there. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe we'll put off the fires for a few more years. Who knows? The grapevine is green. That's good. Yeah, that's good to hear. Rain and snow in Reno. Yeah, it's always good to keep the vegetation down around your homes for sure. Yeah, what a storm. I mean, look at this. California, you guys are just, I mean, we've just been getting bullseyed here for the last, it's been over a year now. I mean, you'll always get the warm summertime stuff, but it's just been interesting. We've had very interesting storms rolling down, a lot of lightning, good snowfall. So that's a good thing. Let's do this. I want to see the European. Let's look at the artificial intelligence European. There's a storm here. I want to see what's coming in the future because that's going to be close. That'll be an interesting storm though. That could be a pretty chilly upper level low. That might bring some nice, it actually might bring some moisture back into the state here as well. Maybe some convection thunderstorms and then another storm there also. So yeah, we could have some interesting weather in the next, week to 10 days also. It's kind of nice to have the European artificial intelligence one run out to 360 hours every 6 hours now. Well, we're transitioning out of an El Nino. I'm going to do an El Nino La Nina update here in the next few days, and I'll have that out next week. We're going to go over some of what's going on because we are transitioning out of El Nino, but at the same time, the atmosphere doesn't just all of a sudden flip like a switch. The El Nino's effects can be felt, several months after the actual El Nino itself goes away because there's still the circulation in the atmosphere. Hills are green, so pretty, especially with the California poppies. Yeah, the bullseye has been getting you. I mean, it's been getting us across the West Coast here. This has been kind of interesting. And it might not be done with it. You guys can see this is looking out towards the end of next week right here. And then the following week, maybe another low pressure system going through here. Yeah, I mean, last year, was a pretty epic season, and that was La Nina. So just because you get La Nina seasons doesn't mean you still can't get interesting storms. And like last year was just absolutely amazing. It was just huge snow after huge snow and big storm after big storm. So just because it's La Nina doesn't mean certainly that you're going to be starving of moisture or anything. Scotts Valley, Santa Cruz Mountains, 44 since July, 82 inches last year. Yeah, I've heard Lake Tulare is still there from what I hear. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for the great updates. Yeah, we've just been getting, and the east on the other hand has been warm. I mean, there's been places out east that have been well below normal as far as snowfall is concerned. So we're kind of reaping the benefits of that here in the west. Here, let's do this. I'm going to go to European season. I see somebody asking some questions. And again, I am going to go over this in a few days here. So we're going to go to Pacific Basin if I can find it. There we go. So we're in March right now. El Nino is when the equatorial Pacific is above normal temperatures. But as you can see, as we go on into April, which we're almost there, this is where we measure La Nina versus El Nino, and you can see it extended across the equatorial Pacific here. And you notice the temperatures are back down towards average. And then look, by the time we get to May, that is clearly a sign for La Nina. June, July, August, September, definite La Nina signature coming up. And the models have been in agreement. All models are pointing to it. Very high confidence in the upcoming La Nina as we go into the fall and next winter. But I'm going to go over that in extreme detail in a video here. It's going to come out next week. So we're going to go over all the most recent stuff, and we'll look at what's the progression of El Nino and its demise. And we'll talk a little bit about the atmospheric conditions, because just because the water temperature cools down doesn't mean that all of a sudden El Nino is just gone. You can still feel the effects of El Nino in the atmosphere. But if you're joining right now, you can see where the low pressure center is right off the Bay Area here. Lots of cold air aloft. Powerful, narrow, cold frontal rain band segments kind of burrowing into places like Morro Bay and almost to Point Conception. Santa Barbara County, Ventura County, Los Angeles County is next as we go through tonight into early tomorrow morning. Some flooding concerns out there. Pretty wicked storm. I mean, you can see all that cold air just spilling out across Pacific Ocean here. Very nice looking on the GOES 18 satellite imagery. Hawaii to the bottom left there. This is actually the Coriolis effect too. You can kind of see the cold air coming down from the north, and you notice how it starts to turn a little bit. So if you're facing from north to south, you start turning to the right a little bit. That's actual Coriolis effect starting to take effect on this air mass as it moves down to the south. Little off topic there, but the Kern River flowed for an entire year. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Very nice. Lake Tulare is going to become an ocean at this. Yeah, maybe what if Lake Tulare just never goes away? Wouldn't that be something? It just grows. Yeah, Bakersfield. I mean, you guys don't get much rain compared to some of the coastal ranges or the Sierra Nevada for sure. Okay, so I'm going to click off that. And it looks like we still have this. You can see the special marine warning here. Obviously, these segments here, very heavy rainfall, gusty winds, water spout potential. And if I click on that, a line of strong storms capable of producing water spouts. Gusts to 50 knots, which is, that's up over 50 miles per hour. You're talking 55 plus, actually. Possible lightning, water spouts. And this can kick up big waves in like a very short period as well. So yeah, you just don't want to be out in that. It's not going to be pleasant. Now, there's probably water spout activity down here right now as we speak. In fact, if I stop this, you see these little segments here too? These are little spinners here. Those could be water spouts also. So if I circle that, click on the... Those can be little water spouts in there too. Sipe, thank you very much for the generosity. Live basketball and live California weather watch at the same time. Raining pretty good in Paso Robles. Thank you very much. Sounds like you're having a good Friday night there. A water spout's similar to a tornado, just over water. Usually in this case, they're going to be weaker than the kind of tornadoes you see out in the Great Plains with the storm chasers and stuff like that. So, it can still flip boats and it can cause damage. And sometimes these can come on shore as kind of vigorous. You don't want to call them, I hesitate in calling them weak, because if it hits your house or something, that's obviously going to cause some damage and whatnot. And sometimes these can be, pretty damaging tornadoes that come on the coastal areas here across Southern California. So you don't want to downplay them too much. I see people talk about brief, weak tornadoes, and if it hits your house, it's, you're not going to think it's very weak. So that's a good question, Santi Beery. Can you explain why we get more storms when we're in an active phase of the Madden-Julian oscillation? I'll talk about that also in the El Nino video coming up. So that's going to come up next week. That's a phase it's basically a huge area of convection that moves around the planet. So if we zoom out, it'll be an area of convection that moves across the planet, and it circles the planet every, I think it's 30 to 45 days, if I'm not mistaken. And we can actually kind of track its progress, and it can help feed some of the Rossby waves, and it can help actually help the development of some of these storms. So, and sometimes it works constructively with El Nino, sometimes destructively, and it's a pretty interesting feature. We're still kind of in the infancy of like understanding El Nino and Madden-Julian oscillation. We kind of have a grasp on what they are and whatnot, but as far as long-term prediction, we have some idea, but we're going to get better at it over the next few decades. But I will talk about the Madden-Julian oscillation some in the El Nino video coming up here next week. 455 people watching. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm going to also so DM, can you give a forecast for Texas on April 8th? Yeah, I'm going to go over some of the Eclipse forecasts here. I'm going to probably start them. I'll probably start them in a couple of days. I want to say maybe I'll start it tomorrow. Who knows? I mean, and just kind of let everybody know it's still kind of entertainment. I know there's a lot of chatter, excuse me, in the weather community about, it's showing up a lot of clouds across Texas and up into Arkansas, and it's going to block a lot of the eclipse. Don't pay attention to any of that right now because it's going to change. I mean, we're looking at today's March 29th. We have 10 days to go. You got plenty of time and things are going to change. And even if there is a storm coming, you might get clear skies for certain areas in Texas that morning before the thunderstorms start to fire up. But yeah, I will start to do some of the forecasting for the eclipse also. Yeah, that's what can happen. Definitely, this low pressure center right here will eventually track east, and I know there is some severe prediction center. They're starting to talk about a little bit of an uptick in the severe weather coming up here. And in fact, we can look at that. Let me duplicate this, and we'll go to no. Snow levels in the Sierras are probably between 5,000 and 6,000 feet right now, actually. So they're below some of those past levels. And why is this not loading here? Here we go. I don't know if I have kind of a cold or whatnot. I kind of feel like a frog in my throat or something, though. So this is what we're looking at here. Day 4 looks kind of interesting here. I got a severe threat all the way from Texas, Oklahoma border through Tulsa, Springfield towards Jefferson. Just off of Kansas City there with the 15%. But you can see this upper level trough is forecast to move eastward across the Four Corners region on Monday. And that's just going to be kicking off some of this activity. So there's day 4. There's day 5 that pushes off towards the East Coast a little bit more here. So yeah, this is what our storm is going to be bringing out in the plains. Gary N., thank you for the generosity. Thank you very much. Santa Maria, California. We just started getting heavy rain. Windy and cold in Sacramento. But yeah, we might not even be done with this crazy weather here as we go through the first half of April. We have some big waves out there too. Combined seas, 12, 16 feet. Risk of isolated water spouts. Always crazy to see that. Zinc and elderberry. I got to try that sometime. I hear people say that a lot. So yeah, so what are they talking now? Let's see if they updated since this morning. Like Los Angeles, you can see 1.9, maybe Redondo 1.5, Long Beach here. So it's not a bad rainmaker there. You can see Pasadena maybe up towards 3 inches. Ojai, Pine Mountain. There's going to be some big rainfall amounts across some of the higher terrain also. 3 to 6 inches in the foothills and mountains. 1 to 3 in the lower elevations. But it's going to come pretty fast and furious as well. If you're just joining here, this is what we're looking at right now. And I'm going to close this down to 1. So, of course, here's the Los Angeles Metro. There's Ventura and Santa Barbara. And you can see these narrow cold frontal rain bands that are burrowing into places like Morro Bay. Is that Shell Beach right here? Pismo Beach. Yeah, some very heavy rainfall associated with this. Did they take down that special marine warning? Why did they do that? I'd probably leave that thing up because there's some rotation showing up in this stuff down here also. And if you look at the Ventura radar here, you can kind of see how the beams get obstructed by the terrain. So you can't really, and it's kind of farther away. So you can't really see. Oh, they got it back up now. Okay, let's see. For whatever reason. Oh, they just were repositioning it. If you remember a few minutes ago, it was back off to the west further. They've updated this now. So let's take a look at that. We'll click on that. This was issued at 0315. So that's 18. Sorry, that's 8 p.m. Possible water spouts, wind gust to 50 knots, small hail, possible lightning. So that's over 55 miles an hour. So, yeah, it's pretty nasty stuff coming in here. Suddenly higher waves. Tea with honey and lemon. Yeah, I need to do that. Actually, I have some tea upstairs. Rain slush at the moment. Washoe Valley, south of Reno. Mission Viejo. Nancy Snyder in the house. Pouring. Morro Bay. Mama Bear thrives. Yeah, actually, we can look at that too. Here, let me bring that back up. Let's go to... Yeah, so here's Orange County. There's Anaheim, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Irvine, Oceanside, San Diego. And you can see the bigger amounts across some of the higher terrain, but some of that's going to be falling as snow also. Like Big Bear is supposed to be getting like 2 feet of snow or something. Same thing with Wrightwood, up, 1.5 feet or something like that. Special marine warning. Yeah, the marine warning is up. They were readjusting. I caught them right in the transition there. But look at this one here, man. That is a serious band. And it looks like it's not that fast moving. You can see kind of training over the same areas here. So Baywood Park, you are up next. I mean, that's a nasty little segment here. That thing's going to pack a punch. And if I pause this, you can kind of see how the green and the red here, you can almost see the couplet associated. So if I circle this, that would be the area of circulation right about there. And you can see how it's right on the southern edge of that narrow cold front rain band there, right on the southern side of that segment there. And you can also see, let me click back off that. You can also see these little guys in here. Would not be surprised that those are water spouts down in there. And again, kind of on the southern fringes of some of these segments. And then there's some more rotation down here, but the beam's higher aloft there. But yeah, there's definite water spout potential with this. You can see that narrow cold frontal rain band, the wind shift right in here. Wonder if I have any recall upstairs. Oh, yeah, you're going to get this through Arizona as well. So here, let's look at that real quick. Where did I have the North American? Let's back up. Let's see the most recent. We should have the 0Z North American model right there. So you can see how the models are picking up that. I mean, it looks narrow on the North American, but looking at, that's packing a punch. The thing's pretty wide. And then you can see this making its trek down across Santa Barbara, Ventura, Los Angeles, Orange County here, and then eventually down through San Diego. This will be tomorrow afternoon. It'll still be hanging across some of San Diego. But then as we go through the day tomorrow as well, look at this, the low there. There's going to be additional water spout and tornado potential with that activity, lightning, brief heavy rainfall. And then we were just talking about Arizona. You can see you're going to get some precipitation here for much of the area as you go on in through. When does this start? We're looking at about tomorrow evening, actually. Tomorrow night, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, still moving through here. Kind of slow moving there once it gets across some of eastern Arizona as well. But the thunderstorm potential should be there still for Southern California, but that should be wrapping up as we go on into Monday. I've got excessive tall weed warning for the spring. Yeah, we were just mentioning that at the beginning of the video about how, the downside to all this rainfall and all these storms is that you're growing a lot of vegetation. So the next time we get dry and we dry things out, it's just more fuel to burn. But that's kind of a negative way of looking at things here. I mean, you just got to, life is a never ending, life is kind of always throwing curveballs. So there's always going to be something to be messing around with, but you got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy the good times while they are around. Santanella, strong winds as well. Windy in Bakersfield. Yeah, SpaceX, they might want to wait even another day. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We've written off the weekend here in San Diego through Monday. It's seriously green here. For us, that's what everybody's been saying now. It's like really green everywhere. I'm hoping for another chase. I have to start working again on Sunday, or I might have come down for this chase. But yeah, this is going to move all the way through Arizona as well as we go through Monday. And this will be with us Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we got 3 days with the storm system for California as it treks across the area. Yeah, now is a good time to actually stay ahead of things like that for your vegetation around your home. Make sure, weeds aren't growing up too much and the grasses are under control, because it depends on where you are too. Sometimes the grass fires can be pretty nasty also. And you'd be surprised how much, sometimes just small amounts of vegetation can really help, keep fires going, or it can help it jump from house to house or move from yard to yard even much quicker. I know some of those firestorms, it doesn't even matter. It kind of takes over everything, but any little thing you can do to help sometimes helps. Oh yeah, the lightning strike photo. Yeah, that was fun. That was the last plane I was going to watch too. My battery was at like 15% on the drone. And so I was about to drop down, but I followed that one last plane and then boom, the lightning strike happened. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, that's the thing I worry about, is that because the drought will return at some point to California in the Southwest. It's just a normal process of the climate. So just got to enjoy the good times while they're here. So let's dive back into the radar here really quick. Put this into motion. Yeah, that's a pretty sinister looking. Almost looks like that thing was trying to spin up right there. Looks like there's a little bit of a hook to that, didn't there? Right there. Yeah, maybe there'll be a water spout on that there. So let's check out. This has the combination of Doppler radars all across the state, actually all across the Southwest too, but you can kind of see the showers moving across the Bay Area right now. And you can see why it's chilly, because this upper level low and this cold air here is just kind of flowing back into central portions of the state at this point. There are 5 large fruit trees in our backyard. It's been raining oranges and lemons from all 2 seasons of huge rains. That's a benefit. Yeah, planes are designed to handle lightning strikes, kind of like a Faraday cage. I believe that's, and it's, it happens, airliners, I think on average get hit like once a year, and it can mess up avionics. So it's not something you can just ignore if you're on a plane, because you have to look for indications. It can knock things out still, but it's not going to electrify or electrocute all your passengers in the back or anything like that, but I've seen damage to aircraft where even, it was struck by lightning. Nobody was hurt on the plane, but you could see like a whole bunch of little holes down the fuselage. So if you get struck by lightning and, you have any adverse indications, you're going to want to return back to wherever you just took off from or whatever. So it's not something you want to have happen, but it's not something that's going to take the plane out of the air or anything like that. Yeah, this low's kind of moving down the coastline at Nip. This was a bigger low moving out of the southwest like that and bringing that strong pressure gradient with it, and the pressure rise behind it. You'd have windier conditions. It's still, there's still wind advisories up and whatnot. It's probably still breezy in some areas. Yeah, it's hard to avoid lightning sometimes, because sometimes you could be flying through like the Bay Area here and you don't see any lightning popping up on the radar here. But if you fly the plane through any of these showers, it actually helps enhance the electrical field. Like the lightning strike shot that I got, that storm didn't produce any other lightning strikes. Only because the plane flew right next to the storm there, it enhanced the electrical field, and boom, and it created that discharge. So the storm is like right on the borderline of producing a lightning strike. The plane flies through it, enhances it, and then bang, you get the strike. And that happens quite a bit up in the Puget Sound area, like for SeaTac coming in and out. There'll be some times where you can see the planes are in cloud and you can see flashes going on, and you can see then planes are just getting struck on approach into SeaTac Airport there. And normally those showers a lot of times don't produce lightning on their own. So it's kind of interesting. Well, after this one, we're going to get a little bit of a break, and then another storm's going to come down the coastline tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but next week. Actually, the end of this upcoming week, I should say. 40 in Sacramento, 40 miles per hour. Okay, so let's take a look here again, and let's fire this up again. Yeah, it looks like it is starting to rain across some of Ventura and Santa Barbara right now. But yeah, this will be a fairly it's somewhat progressive here, but it's still, some of this rain is going to be just very heavy when it does move across some of the area here. And if you're just joining the chat here, it's this special marine warning, kind of right here on Point Conception, up towards Morro Bay. This is due to wind gusts 50 knots or greater. So you're talking about 55, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, possible water spouts, small hail, lightning, big wave action. And if we jump back out here, this low is going to be causing thunderstorms tomorrow, Sunday, and probably on Monday one more time. And this will slowly move through Arizona over the next couple of days as well. Yeah, there's going to be thunderstorm potential across some of the valley tomorrow. Do I have that up? I do. Let's check this out. So here's for today. This is tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of cold air aloft around. So yeah, and you could see it really anywhere across the state. They're not talking about it for Southeast California, but that's going to change for day 3, as you can see. That's going to include Las Vegas too. Desert, high desert, Phoenix, Arizona. So yeah, we got 3 days to go starting. This is actually for Saturday. This goes all the way through Sunday morning here. So this is more than one day. But this is for Saturday morning through Sunday morning. This is Sunday morning through Monday morning here. And then there might be another day on Monday for some more activity. Bakersfield, wind so strong, house is shaking. Yeah, I'm going to do an eclipse forecast. I'll probably start it tomorrow. I'll just do it tomorrow because I do have the day off tomorrow, so I can get that going. It's a little early to be trying to nail down actual forecasts, but in fact, let me do this. This morning was the first time I had looked at the forecast. And there's so much drama about it in the weather community. It's kind of funny. So here we're on April 3rd right here. So here we go, April 4th afternoon. A little bit of an upper level, a little bit of a low here. Nice troughing here right out over the west. So that's what everybody's been talking about. This storm system here looks like it might be impacting some of the eclipse path as we go through the 8th. But if we put that into motion, let's see what it does here. You can see the ridge across central portion of the country on the 6th. Here we go on in the afternoon of the 6th. This bowling ball feature kind of rolling through Montana here. And as we go through, that's the afternoon of the 7th. That's eclipse time there. So that wouldn't be too bad. There's a storm lurking and it's coming, but you still got some ridging here across a lot of the eclipse path. And you can do things like look at upper air moisture. Oh, this is only going out. So that only goes 180 hours out. Let's do total cloud cover. So here we go. We are on the 7th. There's the afternoon of the 7th. And there we go, Monday morning. So that's the eclipse time right there. And there's still going to be some breaks in here too. I mean, you're going to still be able to view the eclipse probably in some of these areas. You can see across some of Missouri and Arkansas here as well. So right now it's a mixed bag looking on the latest GFS, but it's really pushing it to be even looking at this stuff right now. But if we look at the total cloud cover on the European, let's look at the most recent run here. Let's look at the 12Z. So that's the morning of the 8th right there. Actually, let's look at the upper levels of the atmosphere here. We'll go to... So it's getting close. The troughing's starting to move in here. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how this turns out. I mean, the models have been kind of pointing at this trough setting up out here, but we'll be watching. So I'll probably start that tomorrow. Yeah, the Central Farm Valley. Yeah, that's the thing. You guys need that snow up in the Sierra so you can get that runoff. Knocking off blossoms off your Meyer lemon. Yeah, I heard about that. NASA launching some rockets. They could try to get some cool information in the shadow of the moon. Yeah, we'll start to do those forecasts tomorrow. I'm probably going to wrap up the the briefing here. I'm gonna do it. I'll do my normal briefing tomorrow, though. I'm gonna wrap up the live stream here in a minute, but I'll do my normal briefing tomorrow, and then I'll probably do a third separate Eclipse video. I don't know which channel I'll put it on. I might just put on the California channel there, and I'll just, you know, whoever wants to watch it can just watch it on the California channel here. Yeah, it's got a nice tropical tap here back to the south and west. So yeah, watch out, Los Angeles Metro, late tonight, early tomorrow morning. You're going to hear that rain pick up. And also, during the day tomorrow, eyes on the sky. Thunderstorm potential. Again, Sunday and maybe even Monday across some of the desert areas in Arizona. No, it's coming. It's coming for you, Santa Barbara, Ventura County. It's 100% coming. It's on its way. It is moving fairly. I mean, it's not moving too quickly, but it's coming. Solar eclipse on your birthday. Very nice. My other channel is Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. I actually used to do both the California and Pacific Northwest Weather Watch on just that one page, on the one channel, I should say. And then the California view, the California video started getting so many views that I wanted to do its own channel. And as you can see, I just started this last fall, and it's got up over 24,000 subscribers already. So it's doing really well. And the more subscribers I get, the more people like the channel, the more members I get, then the better chance I will continue to do this off into the future. April showers, spring, May flowers, indeed. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to wrap up the live stream. I just wanted to check in and just kind of keep everybody abreast of what's going on. We'll do everything again tomorrow. We'll break everything down. And I'll talk to you guys again. Hope you guys are liking the videos. Thanks for all the generosity of the super chats today, too. Much appreciated. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you for the generosity. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hope you guys can all check in. Also, I'll do the Eclipse video tomorrow morning as well. Okay.